Peter Meinhard Moro, CBE, the 27th of May 1911 to the 10th of October 1998, was a London-based architect whose practice developed many notable public buildings. Life and works. Moro was born in Heidelberg, Germany to Professor Ernst Moro, a renowned Austrian physician and pediatrician, and Margarete Honigswald. He initially trained in Stuttgart and then at the Berlin Charlottenburg Technical Academy. Having a Jewish grandmother, he was obliged to move to Zurich for his final 2 years, studying under Otto Salzburg. On graduating in 1936, he moved to London with no money and limited English. He worked for 2 years with Berthold Lübetkin, by far the most interesting architect I ever worked with. Quote, in 1938, Moro and Richard Llewellyn Davies were commissioned to build a house, Harbour Meadow at Birdham, Sussex, one of the least known but most original modern houses of the 1930s. Now Grade 2 listed, Moro was briefly interned as an enemy alien on the Isle of Wight. Then from 1941 to 47 taught at the Regent Street Polytechnic, establishing a reputation as someone who knew how to teach architecture in a modern way. Students from his class were drafted into the design team for the Festival Hall. I chose a handful of the best of my former students whose ideas of design were sympathetic to my own. Quote, he was made a Reba Fellow in 1948. From 1952 to 1984 he led Peter Moro and Partners, designing Fairlawn Primary School, Lewisham in 1957. His design for his own house at 20 Blackheath Park, a pavilion with a raised living floor, was one of the first post-war buildings to be listed. The practice also designed public housing for the Greater London Council and the London Borough of Southwark. In 1964, Moro completed his first theatre, the Playhouse, Nottingham. It was one of the earliest theatres to be adaptable either as a proscenium stage or as a thrust stage. Peninsula. Projecting forward, Moro is quoted as saying that a theatre, however attractive, which does not work backstage, is a nuisance. A theatre which has the correct technology, but no magic, is even worse. Quote, he also designed theatres at Hull University, the Theatre Royal, Plymouth, 1982, with an adaptable auditorium, and 3 theatres at the Academy of Performing Arts, Hong Kong, 1983–85. He was awarded a CBE in 1977. Moro rejected criticisms of modern architecture, but in a way his whole output was a critique of what he called the banality of functionalism, which, as he repeatedly demonstrated, could be overcome by the imaginative and technically skillful transformation of the ordinary. Personal. Moro married Hon. Anne Margaret Theodosia Vannock, the 20th of May 1918 to 2000, daughter of William Vannock, 5th Baron Huntingfield. On the 2nd of March 1940, they were divorced in 1994. They had 3 daughters. Frances Moro, who married John Barnes and had 3 sons, Alice Moro, Dinah Moro,